This woman is shocked to find a drop of blood on her boyfriend's floor. She takes advantage of his inattention and quietly squats down to check it out. However, to her surprise, the drop of blood comes from her thighs. She feels so unlucky. After all, it is not easy for her to get in touch with a wealthy man. She can only pretend to be calm, and then goes to the bathroom to cover it up with toilet paper. Then they go to a romantic restaurant for a date. Ethan behaves very polite and thoughtful. He thoughtfully remembers the woman's preferences. However, when a dog passes by,
Dog, control your fucking dog!
Cherie is shocked by the way he snarls, but Ethan quickly apologizes, explaining that he was only bitten by a dog when he was a child and even got 48 stitches. She doesn't take it seriously. At the end of the night, Cherie still goes home with him despite her physical condition. However, just a minute later, there are sounds of agonizing struggles from inside. Then she flees out in a messy state. Her makeup is already smudged. At this point, she couldn't care less about how she looks. She just wants to run away from that horrible man. She rushes to the neighbors' houses to seek help, but they choose to turn a blind eye to her. What's worse is that Ethan is tracking her from afar. She desperately runs to the bustling street. A woman eagerly helps her call the police. However, the police take her into custody for being drunk in public. She is locked up with a woman. She curiously asks about what has happened to her, but the more she talks, the more shocked the woman acts.
White guy? Tall, blue eyes? You say he really fucking hates dogs.
She's becoming increasingly afraid. She then tells the police that Cherie is going to hurt her. Cherie is very shocked. She says she has been tagged by Ethan, and the only way is to find the First Lady. The reason she knows so much about it is because her best friend has been tagged by Ethan just like Cherie, and she ended up in a bad way. She says that Ethan even has the ability to control people. Sure enough, not a moment too soon, Ethan comes to her cell, and the police officer completely ignores her cries. He offers to play a game of cat and mouse with her. He says that if she isn't caught by him tonight, then he will let her go. Then, the police are controlled by Ethan and let her out. She goes to the street, but feels that everyone around her is trying to hurt her. Eventually, she hastily beckons a cab to stop. She arrives at her boss's house, because Ethan is a client that the boss has set her up with. The boss is shocked to see her condition and is very saddened by what has happened to her, but his wife gives a meaningful look. Cherie gradually senses something is wrong. She secretly unlocks her boss's computer and types in Ethan's name. However, she sees her name here, and she isn't even the only one. A large number of women's identifying information pop up. At this time, the boss's wife appears. She hands Cherie a tampon and says Ethan can smell the blood on her. At this time, the boss suddenly appears. They immediately pretend that nothing has happened, but Cherie takes the opportunity to hurriedly sneak out. The boss is hot on her tail. She just happens to catch a bus. The boss is ditched. There is a missing person notice posted on the bus, and this has the First Lady's contact information written on it.